There's a sacrifice that must be made, said God. Let's talk about it. In order to follow after Christ, there's first a sacrifice that must be made. Now, the definition, we're going to keep it simple, for sacrifice means, according to Google, surrendering over a possession. In order to follow after Christ, you first must surrender over the old life, the old you, your will. Because look, let's go here, Amos 3:3. It says, how can two walk together except they be agreed? I'm telling you from past experience of Christ processing me and getting me to the part, a place of surrendering where I could follow after him for real. Not playing church, because I played church for 10 years. No, I'm talking about truly following after him. During those 10 years of God, Christ processing me, the reason why I kept backsliding is because I was still trying to hold on to a piece of the old me. Let's talk about it. Prime example. Because who say you can't love God but love the old life more? So loving God is not enough, and that was my problem for the past 10 years. Yes, I loved God. I can't say truly I loved God, because if you truly love God, or when you truly get to that part or that place of truly loving God with your whole heart, you'll be willing to make that sacrifice that must be made. You'll be willing to give him your whole entire heart, not keeping part of it for your favorite sin. The sin you like to go back to when things get hard or when you get lonely. Hello, somebody. And so, as I was saying, that was my problem. Yes, I loved God, but I was loving my old life a little more. I loved God during those past 10 years, but Lord, I love my lovers a little more. Hello, somebody. The more, however you say her name. Let's tell the truth, shame the devil today. Because, see, a lot of y'all is just like how I used to be. Yes, you love God. You truly love God. I'll go here and say that. You truly do. Yes, you do. Your desire is to truly follow after Christ wholeheartedly. But right now, you wrestling with Christ. Because, yes, you love God. 1 minute, as they say, 1 minute you want to be saved, the next minute you don't. You love Christ, but yet you love that sin a little bit more. You love Christ, but you in love with your old life. So you wrestling, Jacob. You in between. You wrestling. Lord, I love this old identity. See, I don't know that person that you calling me to be. I ain't never walked that way before, God. Come on, somebody, that touched me. Because that was something I asked the Lord. And I'll be transparent and talk about it. I asked the Lord last year, the end of last year, while he was still processing me. Yes, he haven't given us the spirit of fear. I know that. But I knew that the shoes that Christ was calling me to walk into and walk in were big. It's something I never did before, Lord. And you believe in me? No, actually, that's what he told me. He believed in me. Like, Lord, but I'm going to sum it up. Like, Lord, what if? Like, I ain't never did this before. Yes, he processed me. He was training me for 10 years, but I ain't never been a follower. And when I said like that because you can't say you a follower of Christ, but yet you falling after the ways of the devil. You can't be heading and walking in two different directions at the same exact time. So yes, while I was living in hell, let's call it what it is, because you ain't a follower of Christ, but yet your address is in hell. And if your address is in hell, then that means you still living a sinful lifestyle. Come on, we ain't gonna sugarcoat and say, oh, well, ain't nobody perfect. Yes, nobody is perfect. But if you have yet to surrender to the Lord, then baby, your address and be redeemed, then your address is still located in hell. Hello? Mine was there during those 10 years. Christ was working on me though for those 10 years. And he got me to the place where I could not only surrender to him, but he could redeem me from out of hell and back to him. So I'm going to go here with the biblical example before I go, because just like Elisha, it was his decision. I'm going to say like, you must make up your mind. Because just like Elijah walked by Elisha in 1 Kings 19, verse 19, starting with verse 19, Christ will do the same thing, because in that biblical story, I'm going to use Elijah to represent Christ, because he will do the same thing to us. He will walk by and get your attention. Excuse me, just like Elijah did to Elijah by throwing his cloak upon him. He'll knock at the heart of the door at your heart, however he decide to get your attention. But one thing he will not do, because you have free will and he's not man that he should lie, so he ain't gonna override. Now I like to say, Lord, but he ain't gonna force you. Because you got free will, he can't force you. Now he know how to work some things to where it feel like, Lord, now you forcing me, but he can't force you. But I will say, when he wants you, he know how to get you. Now, I will be honest about that. He know what to allow to get you for real. I'm a living witness of that. But let's go on with the story. Just like, as I was saying, just how Elijah walked by, threw his cloak on Elisha to get his attention. One thing Elijah said to Elijah, he said, let me go back and kiss my father and my mother goodbye. Then I will follow after you. I'm summing it up. He was willing to kiss that old life behind those. He was willing, how I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to take it this way for this video. He was willing to walk away from the old people. The people that was connected to the old him before Christ came and called him. He was willing to make that sacrifice. Hello? He was willing to let it go, because not only did he say, let me go back and kiss my mother and my father, my mother goodbye. But if you read on down, I think it's verse 20 or 21, it also says how he burnt the instruments, the equipment, the plowing equipment. So he gave up, he killed off everything that was connected to the old life, the old identity. Come on, somebody. He didn't try to keep Tyrone on standby. Let's go here. He didn't try to keep Felicia on standby. He didn't try to keep the drug dealer number in his phone. He didn't try to keep whatever it is for you. He didn't try to keep the Cuddy Butter link in his phone. Come on, somebody, the sneaky link. He didn't try to keep them on standby. Come on, somebody. There's a sacrifice that must be made in order to follow after Christ. For those 10 years, I can't say, now knowing what I know, I can't say I was a follower after Christ, because you cannot be walking in two different directions at the same time. Either you following after the ways of the devil or after Christ. Just because you go to church, may even speak in tongues, may even love God truly, but you in love with the old you right now. So you're not a follower after Christ. Yes, he can be processing you, working on you. But are you truly a follower? Yes, no one is perfect. But let's go here even with when he called Peter and them. He called them from out of their old life. Away from their old life. Amos 3:3, I'm going to say it again before I go. How can two walk together except they be agreed? Just like Elisha. Just like Elisha did with Elisha. Christ will get your attention. But it has to be your choice. You have to choose to follow after him by first making that sacrifice that need to be made. He's not gonna force you.